Welcome to the next class. We're going to be dealing with mail here, and within mail we're going to be dealing with signatures. And signatures is something that's automatically at the bottom of your email. Sometimes it's real long, sometimes it's just really simple, but you just don't want to type it in every single time. So let's check it out and see what we got. Now open up mail. Now you can see you can see what a signature might be. Like, this is a signature that I send often on emails, and you can see I don't want to type this every single time, so I have it permanently attached to an email that I create. So let's figure out how we're going to do that. So let's open up the mail preferences. Once we're in the preferences, we want to go to this far right signatures. Now I have 3 email accounts. None of them have any signatures, and I usually make my signatures under all signatures. Now if I knew that I only wanted one specific one for this one only, I could select it and hit the plus and we can make one for that one. But let's start out with the all signatures. So I'm gonna hit this plus button, and this tells me a basic signature is going to kind of fill it in for me. It's assuming I want how my email is set up with my email address. I'll just call this one the main signature, and I'm also going to put at the bottom of it, I'll put www.macideaoftheday.com, and rather than S. Smith, I'm going to change that to Stan. And I'm going to say always match my default font, meaning if I change something in my default settings, this will also change so it looks the same. So this is my main signature. Well, you can see it's part of my all signatures, but it's not on any of my accounts yet, so that it actually would not show up if I went to send an email. So let's drag this one over to the idea of the day. I'm also going to drag it in the Gmail. But if I send something with this account, it won't have the option of attaching that. So let's make another one, and I'll just call this one simple. And on that one, I'll just have my name, and I'll put the phone number too. And so that's a nice simple one. Maybe the simple one I want on that one and this one, but not on the Gmail one. So let's see what we have, and I'll show you how it works, and we'll be coming back to this because there's a few more settings that I want, and we'll match the setting, the font for that signature also. So I create a new message, and I'll just write testing. Now right now there's no signature. I have a couple of them possibly selected on this particular account, and that was the main one. If I select main, you see how it shows up. Now if I want to do this from a different account, I can do it from my main account, and then I could choose. Now I have 2 signatures, main and simple. So I'll choose the main one, and then you could change it to simple, either one. So that's how you choose a signature if you have multiple signatures. It depends on which account. Kind of makes sense? And that is the luxury of being able to go back and watch this again. Now, we are far from actually having it the way we want it. Chances are you want a signature that's always there. And if you feel the need to change it, you will. And we can go back to none. As you can see, let's close this out. We're not going to save it. Let's go back into signatures. We'll look at some of these preferences within signatures. So let's go into the idea of the day, because there's actually 2 of them. Now I could have the main one. This is the one I'd really like to have. And so you could say choose the main one. That is the signature that's automatically going to be created on this idea of the day account. So let's go back and see what happens this time. So we're going to go new message. I'm going to go from the main one, which is that top one, and there it is, automatically filled in, my main signature. I don't need to attach it. So let's close things out, and I want to share a couple other things here. Well, let's go back into preferences, and there is an option under composing to send a new mail. I can make sure it chooses this account to send it by default. I could change it. Rather than be the last viewed mailbox, let's choose this main account as the one that's going to send from all the time. So let's close that. Let's actually want to open it because we want to go back into signatures. Going to go to our main account. It's choosing main. Now I want to show you what this next thing does. It's place signature above quoted text. By default, for some reason, that's not checked. I'm going to show you what it does when it's not checked. So let's say we got an email from somebody, and let's reply. And I'm going to reply from my main account. Since I'm replying, it didn't by default take my main account. Now you can see my signature is at the bottom. So if I start typing stuff down here, it might look weird. I think it does look weird that it's at the very bottom, because they might not notice it. Especially if it's a long email, they very well could miss it. Now let's check out something different. Let's go back up to preferences once again. Signature. This time we're going to check this box. Place signature above quoted text. It probably will work on all of them. I think it will. Yep, just wanted to verify that. So we're going to place signature above quoted text. Now what this does, the same email, I hit reply, going to choose my main account. Now you can see the signature is at top. So then I can start typing. And that actually makes sense to me where it is. Now even though this main is our default signature, we could easily change it. And it will change it so it doesn't add it or anything else. So let's close that. And we'll go back one more time into here, because this is pretty easy, especially once you get to know how to do it. Now if you knew that you wanted to make another signature but it never was going to go in any type of account, I could click on this, hit plus, and I could say, this is my .mac one, and maybe I don't want to give any information. Maybe it's my professional account, so I could type Mr. Smith, which I've never been called in my life, and then you can type in different things like that. I always like to match the one, so I have two signatures there, but it's not anywhere else. It does go into all signatures because everything goes there, but as you can see, it's not anywhere else unless I manually add it, which I could. So maybe I call this one, rather than .mac one, maybe I actually call it Mr. Smith one, so I know I'm signing out with Mr. Smith, which is very weird. So that's how it's done, and you can select the default font in any of them. You don't have to do any. You could do them random. So if you had 50 different signatures with different quotes on them, which is very possible, you could do that if you wanted to. Now the other thing, which is pretty cool perhaps, let's close this really small so we can see it. We go into the hard drive, let's find some pictures. Do we have any pictures? Yep. We could actually, within this is a little picture. So this signature, my main signature, has a picture. So let's go new message. There's the picture. It's huge, so you definitely want to resize it first, and you can do that with an iPhoto. You can make it nice and small, because it's actually going to grab the size of the picture that it originally is. But you could resize it, even in preview. If we open this up in preview, and let's resize it, adjust size, and I'm going to make this 2 inches by 1.25 inches, 72 dots per inch. Okay, and I'm just going to do a save as, and I'll call this a fly, and I'll save it right on the desktop. So let's close this. Let's go back into our preferences. We'll take out that huge picture. Then hit return a couple times so it's where I want it. Here's the picture of the fly. We drop it in. This is my main signature still. Let's close it out. We go new message. There's the picture of the fly, although it's still too big. But you get the idea. We can resize it. But you can have a picture. Let's make it small there, but it's pretty big picture. But we can definitely resize that and add it. So it's not just restricted to text. You can actually have pictures in there too. So, well, that's really about it in signatures. It's not too difficult once you figure out how to do it. I am kind of curious on the size. It didn't resize it for some reason. So let's make it by. Well, that's tiny. So let's do a save as. We'll try this again. Small fly. looks small. Let's drop it in our signature. Let's close it. Let's make a new message. There it is, nice and small. So for some reason that first time it didn't save it as small. So we can type it in right there. And every time you make a message, a new message, there's the fly. New message, there's the fly. And it doesn't matter if you choose a different account with a different signature, you could change the signature.